topic of the hour, artificial intelligence. Dozens of YouTubers are creating content about artificial intelligence and most specifically about ChatGPT. If you don't know what that is, it's a type of AI that responds to text input with the information it has on its database. I hope I'm right about this. So it cannot access websites as far as I know, but its knowledge is pretty comprehensive, extensive, and honestly impressive. So it can answer all kinds of questions, some correctly, others not so much. Before ChatGPT, I was already exploring some other tools such as Writesonic and Copymatic, but ChatGPT being free and so easy to use really changed the game. So much that this other tool that I like to use called Writesonic created their own chat thing. It's called ChatSonic. And yeah, they even compare it to ChatGPT, so they're really trying to compete with this powerful tool. Many creatives are actually scared and worried that AI could replace them in their jobs, but I don't think that's true at all. I think there's a world of opportunity now because of these tools, and I definitely want to make a video about all the ways that we creatives can use tools like ChatGPT and any other form of AI to be more productive, more creative, and improve our content. But today's video is not about that yet. Today we are going to use ChatGPT to create a business and a brand identity brief. And spoiler alert, this is part 1 of 2. Today we are going to define the brand, and next week we are actually going to design it. And while ChatGPT cannot design, here's what it can do. Come up with a business idea and a name for it. Answer some of the questions I usually ask my clients during our brand strategy session so we can put the briefing together. And suggest logo, color palette, and font pairing ideas. So that's what we are going to be using ChatGPT for, and what's really key here is to ask the right questions the right way. So like I said, I have been exploring these tools for a while now, and I'm finally starting to understand what words it responds best to, like which words I should use to describe the kind of content that I wanted to generate. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through all the steps together. Okay, have my coffee. We have ChatGPT open. This is what it looks like. And I have my iPad next to me, so I'm going to be looking at it every now and then because I have kind of a list of questions that I want to ask ChatGPT, to really create a really cool business. So yeah, I'm just going to start with it here. Let me just copy it. Okay, let's see what it gives us. Okay, but these are all like services. They're not really, except for the generate 5 new ideas. Make sure they are product-based businesses. Okay, so I already have like a comment that I want to make here. Like, great, it gives us 10 ideas for a business that we can start. But this is why I say that a business is not a brand, Like if you have a business, maybe you sell phone cases, but if you don't have like your brand strategy in place, your brand identity, maybe you sell and it's fine and you're okay with that. But a brand is really a lot more than that. Like you really want it to be a community of like-minded people in a way. So that's going to be our next step. Actually, no, not our next step. Our next step is going to be to define a name and a description of what they do. But first we have to choose one of these 10 ideas. So I really love the subscription box service, but to be quite honest, I had seen this one before here on ChatGPT, and I don't want to spoil the challenge. So let's go with handmade soap and skincare business. So let's see. Now generate a list of names. Bare necessities, I don't really like that name, but wildcraft, that's interesting. I don't know the meaning of this word. gathered from the wild. Okay, I like wildcraft soaps. We are going to go with wildcraft soaps. So now, let's see. We're going to ask it to explain, the meaning and the reason for this name. Love this. This is giving us so much information already about the brand. And this is actually one question that I do ask my clients, of course, like not like this, but I'm always interested in learning the meaning behind their name. And naming is so, so, so important. Let's move on to my next item on the list, which is storytelling, like brand narrative and that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, that happens sometimes. We're just gonna refresh it. I hope it's not down. No, it's okay. Okay, that happens. Like, I get it. It's a free tool, a pretty good free tool. Of course, the whole world is using it. The brand's target, make it specific. Let's see if it's going to understand this, but I think it will. Like, this is so smart. We have like an age range, which is amazing. And on to the next question, which is okay. Oh wait. This is like I could not go live. Like I'm so bad. Thank God I'm gonna edit this video because I make some weird faces. Wildcraft soaps sells primarily in Europe. Can you make a list of a few competitors? I swear this ChatGPT thing hates me. And I hated that it didn't save um the previous answer. I want to check if these are real brands or if it's just making things up, but I think they're real. So love it that they can kind of that they can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so now I'm not quite sure if we should like stick to wildcraft soaps. As they say here that these are hypothetical examples, but they do exist. So weird and interesting. But this is also a big part of brand strategy. Just researching the name, making sure that it's not like trademarked to someone else. Okay, I love rustic rituals. It does exist, but they are like a brush. Okay, they don't even have a website. So we're gonna go with rustic rituals, okay? But normally I would let my client know that there is a brand with the same name somewhere in the world, like just for them to be aware of it. And I like that ChatGPT let us know that, like it's important to check for availability. Definitely it is. And I like that it kind of gives us the meaning behind the name, like they are inspired by the idea of using natural and organic ingredients, being eco-friendly and sustainable, and having a connection to nature. So we kind of have keywords already here that we can use for our brand identity. So I'm just going to have to ask it again. Oh no, sorry. Rustic rituals. No. I'm just gonna refresh the page quickly because I made a mistake here. That happens. Okay, I just lost all my progress. Not cool. Not. I did not know that that could happen. So you know what? Like we have the name. We're gonna start a new chat, and we're gonna use what we already know about the brand to continue our conversation with ChatGPT. So let me just get all the info. You have a brand, so I'm treating it as if it were my client. Of course, I don't ask my clients things this way, but you get it. You have a brand called Made So really cool. So now going back to the brand narrative and storytelling. It always does that. Maybe I have to learn how to write this prompt. But when I asked, like, can you tell me a story? Right away, it says once upon a time. And I love it. You know, it is a story, but that's not what I was looking for. I like that it included this surrounding mountains. You know, it starts to become kind of magic. Okay, we can use like some of this to create our brand identity. I have some ideas here. Business goals in the long run. Okay, this is so important, you guys. Like, I always ask my clients in the long run, like, are they planning to sell, I don't know, digital products, physical products, different services? This first topic here is so important to have an idea. You know, maybe it's not going to happen, but if it does, good that the designer was aware of it when they were creating the brand identity and target audience. I'm not really going to ask again about the competitors. Like we saw that it can generate that list. So I'm not going to ask that question again. I will kind of do my own research before I start designing next week, or we can even ask it again next week because, you know, things change so fast in this AI world, and maybe it's going to have new information to give us by the time I film the next video, which is going to be probably in 5-6 days. So yeah, I'm not gonna ask about competitors anymore. I do want to see what it says about a target audience, and then we will ask for some of the keywords for the brand and a tagline. So oh, I need water. Okay, so I don't love the all ages because I do think it's good to have an age range, but we're gonna work with that, or maybe we're gonna keep that previous one. I think was from 25 to 45. So maybe we're gonna stay within that age range. I think all ages is very broad, and we don't want that when we are defining a brand. So yeah, once it stops like blinking here, I can ask the next question. Like when it this stop generating disappears, I will ask about the keywords. Like, give me 5 to 10 keywords for this brand. Mm, I think I had a different question that I wanted to ask, but I cannot find it. Okay. Yeah, we already knew that. Traditional. Okay. Okay, so I hate that it's adding like in every bar of soap. Like I don't want that, but I like a couple of them. So, yeah. Okay, good. Let's move on to our final question, or I think this was my final question. Let me just make sure there's nothing more I want to ask. But yeah, I think this is good. And I want to see if it can already generate the brief for us, or if I have to kind of organize the information it gave us. So let's see. Can you sum it all? And identity brief based on everything. There are too many keywords. Like I usually ask my clients around 5. maximum 7 keywords. I think 7 is even a little bit too much. So yeah, we're gonna have to narrow that down a little bit. Kind of summarized everything that we talked here. I definitely want to go through this whole chat again because in the end, I kind of like this story and I want to find a way to incorporate it in the brand identity just because we have some hints of magic here, like healing power of nature and this where was it with the mountains. So natural ingredients sourced from the surrounding mountains, like that's so good for a brand, that's really nice. So I'm definitely not gonna stick just to this little brief here. I'm gonna go back and put everything together. So yeah, give me like a second. For you, it's going to be a second. For me, it's going to be a few minutes. And I'm going to kind of organize all this information. And then we are going to discuss what's going to happen in the part 2 of this. It's not a series, but, of this project. Okay, so I really like to create my mood boards and like initial color palettes in Figma. So that's why I have here already like the space for the mood board. Next week, we're gonna do that. Here, I just copied that little brief that it gave us. And now I'm going to organize the information on this other text box here. So let's go back. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna say Sophie is the brand owner. So Sophie, the owner, had always been fascinated by the healing power of nature. I feel like this is too much. Like we don't need all that information for this project specifically. Of course, if this was a real brand, the more information we have, the better. But here we don't really need all those words. So I want to see if it can summarize this business goals. And then I kind of want to choose 5 keywords. So, like rustic is already there. So I don't want to add it. Like this should be extra. So it's definitely going to be self-care. Love that. I don't think this brand is traditional at all. Natural beauty, super important for the brand photos. So because photography is also part of brand identity, so we have to think about that. I love that there's natural beauty included in this list. Healing. I don't know if I would add healing, to be honest. I like the idea of healing, but more as an aesthetic thing. I don't know, like in my mind, it makes sense. So sustainable, because we can use that for the packaging, and herbal. And yeah, I think honestly, like 4 keywords are more than enough. And taglines, I like nature's healing touch, because we had here the healing and everything, and I feel like this could be kind of mystical. So I like nature's healing touch. I'm just gonna keep the first tagline. Like I think it's nice. So yeah, here we have the brand goals. So I'm just going to include it somewhere here, just so I have them like right in front of me. I know this looks like a lot, but honestly, brand identity kind of is like this pretty comprehensive theoretical part of your brand. So I love that we have all this information to work with. I cannot wait to start designing. And I am not only impressed with ChatGPT, but happy with this result, because this sounds like a really cool brand to work for. And I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun designing this brand identity. And now we have a very interesting business and brand to work with. And next week we'll use ChatGPT as our right-hand man. Instead of it acting as the client, it's going to act as a designer. Like, it's just going to give us some hints of what we should do for this brand here that we just created today, and we're going to follow its lead. If you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one, because not only we will talk a little bit more about AI, I will actually show you my process of designing a brand identity from scratch. We have new videos every Thursday, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next week. If you ever wonder why I have that Taylor Swift poster in my office, this is a very cool story. When we moved to this apartment, it was already here. Like, meant to be, because I am a big Swiftie. So yeah, that's my very interesting story.